What would you do if your friend vanished in a beam of light and came back 5 days later with a story no one believed? Released in 1993, Fire in the Sky isn't just another sci-fi thriller. It's based on one of the most fiercely debated UFO encounters in American history, the alleged abduction of Travis Walton. It all began deep in the forests of Arizona. A logging crew is driving home after a long day when they see something hovering above the trees. They pull over, one of them steps out to investigate, and then suddenly, a beam of light flashes through the night, and the story begins. Fire in the Sky was inspired by Travis Walton's own account, detailed in his 1978 book, The Walton Experience. And nearly 5 decades later, his story still sends shivers down spines. So, what really happened in the forest that night? To answer that, let's start with a movie that brought the story to the world. Set in a quiet Arizona town, Fire in the Sky follows a crew of loggers whose friend mysteriously vanishes after a strange encounter with a UFO. When Travis returns days later, shaken and traumatized, his memories reveal a chilling experience aboard an alien aircraft. The movie begins as a grounded mystery, focusing on disbelief and suspicion among the crew. But its abduction sequence, dark, surreal, and intensely claustrophobic, that's the thing that leaves the deepest impression. While this film does take creative liberties, especially during spacecraft scenes, it's widely praised for its emotional weight, eerie atmosphere, and strong performances. The central scene aboard the alien aircraft is still considered one of the most terrifying in the history of sci-fi film. Fire in the Sky leans more into psychological horror than traditional alien sci-fi. It's less about extraterrestrials and more about what trauma does to people and how disbelief can divide even the closest of friends. Before we dig into Walton's personal account of what happened that night in Arizona, please take a second to like the video if you're enjoying it. This simple gesture helps us grow the channel and helps others find their way here. And if you haven't already, subscribe to check out more stories beyond the ordinary. Alright, let's get back to the good stuff. Travis Walton's version of events is laid out in the Walton Experience, where he tells what he insists is the true story. On November 5th, 1975, Travis and 6 other loggers were driving home through the Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest when they saw a glowing object hovering above the trees. Curious, Travis stepped out, and as he approached the craft, a beam of light struck him. The others panicked and drove off. For the next 5 days, Travis Walton was missing. His disappearance triggered a massive search. Law enforcement suspected foul play, and the remaining crew members faced intense scrutiny. But then, Travis came back. He slowly began to remember pieces of what had happened. He claimed that he'd been taken aboard a spacecraft, surrounded by strange, silent beings, and subjected to something he could barely describe. He remembered being inside a strange, dimly lit room. At first, he thought it was a hospital, but as his vision cleared, he realized these weren't doctors. Surrounding him were small humanoid beings. They had pale skin, large dark eyes, and domed heads. They stood there silent and staring at him with a cold, clinical gaze. Travis lashed out and he shoved one of the beings away. The group retreated, and soon after, a group of taller, more human-like figures arrived. They wore tight uniforms and helmets, and they felt wrong. Like actors pretending to be human but missing something vital. He was guided into another room where a strange mask-like device was lowered over his face, and his memory fades from there. Under hypnosis, more memories surfaced, but never fully. Travis admits the experience is still fragmented, but one feeling has never left him, a sense of fear, confusion, and something deeper, as if something had been taken, a feeling he still struggles to describe. Travis's ordeal didn't end when he came back. In many ways, it was just beginning. He struggled with sleep, with overwhelming unease, and the kind of fear that doesn't easily fade. He pulled away from friends, avoided crowds, and even had trouble looking his loved ones in the eye. The media frenzy only made it worse. He became the punchline on late-night TV. Skeptics called him a fraud, and the weight of defending himself against something so bizarre, so personal, took a heavy toll on him. But through it all, Travis never changed his story. He took and passed multiple lie detector tests. He sat down with journalists, investigators, and critics. And he always said that he didn't ask for fame or notoriety. He just believed people deserved to know what happened. Whether you believe him or not, his case remains one of the most haunting alien abduction stories ever recorded, an encounter that continues to divide opinion and reminds us just how thin the line might be between the world we know and the one we can't explain. So, what do you think? Was this a hoax or something stranger? Something that challenges everything we think we know? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching Stories Beyond the Ordinary.